Hello and welcome to another episode of Toy Talks Wrestling, and today we're going to talk about the debut of Raw on Netflix. So, it started off with this cool video about just the history of, how WWE and how people watch and how the legends and stuff like that. It was a really good video. It was on this and it was like it's on this like curtain thing around the ring, and it's kind of like digital something like virtual, I don't know. It's really cool. And then after the video was over, like the curtain like kind of drops and you see Triple H in the middle of the ring. And let me just tell you, the setup is kind of reminds me of Black and Gold NXT. It had a ring, and the ring mat is black. Had a couple of advertisements, but you really couldn't tell. You couldn't really. It wasn't really like focused, and it had like white ropes. I really liked the setup. Even like when the referees came out, they were wearing like gray and black. They didn't have like the black and white referees. They were like gray and black, had like the logo on the pockets and everything else like that. It was really, really nice, and I really enjoyed it. So Triple H came out, pretty much, just welcome the crowd, tell them that, you're basically saying this is like worldwide. They're on Netflix. They say that a lot during the whole damn show. Talk about, oh, look at us, we're worldwide, we're on Netflix. Yes, we know, we are aware of this. But anyways, he gave out his little speech and everything else like that. And then first person that came out was The Rock. And The Rock was pretty much giving out his shout outs to like the higher ups or whatever like that. Like, I guess doing the ass kissing, I guess you could say. And he, shout out to Cody Rhodes and everything else, which was kind of weird for me. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be like Cody Rhodes' enemy or something like that? Why are you buddy? I'm like, I don't know. Is this like the final boss Rock, or is this like TKO boss Rock that we're talking here? I don't know. But he said that, and he said, that Roman Reigns he tried out Roman Reigns, said Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, and that he's going to be watching this match very closely and everything else. He gave out shots on everything else, and they all were screaming all this other stuff. And then we had the final match. We had the first match, which was Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. Now, there's one thing that I know, that if you can't be last, be first. So I know that CM Punk and Seth Rollins were always going to be for the final match. So obviously, you might as well just be first, never in the middle. So we started this first match, and for those of you who are wondering, yes, they have ads. They have ads. No matter, now, from what I've heard, right, here in America, even if you have the premium, there's still ads. Now, the ads are not that bad. Less than like 3 minutes. Give you plenty of time to go get a breakfast, go get a snack, go to the bathroom. By the time you come back, it was done. Like, I didn't have a problem with this, because usually when I watch things like on cable and stuff like that, there's like at least 5 minutes worth of ads and stuff like that. So this was not so bad. Like, I'm like, oh, there's an ad, okay, let me just go up and get something to drink, go to the bathroom, and then here I come back, and they start the match, the bell rings. It's like, you don't really miss anything. You're not missing anything at all, really. It wasn't that big of a deal to me. But apparently, if you're like outside the United States and you have premium on Netflix, then there is no ads. I don't know why that is, but I mean, I guess it's the same thing as like when WWE was doing like the whole PLEs on Peacock. A lot of people like my friend Tim, he still had the WWE network, while I had to go to Peacock. So I don't know why this is and why that is. But if you don't want ads and you have a VPN, I suggest you just go ahead and just be like, oh, you're like United Kingdom or something like that. But for me, it wasn't that big of a deal. So we had this match. it's a tribal combat, so it means no disqualifications and stuff like that. This match was going on pretty well, going on one-on-one pretty well and stuff like that. They used some chairs, they used some tables, they used a kendo stick. Eventually, Roman Reigns, last rides Solo into the table, and he goes for the cover. And as soon as he does that, he gets the referee gets pulled out by Tama Tonga, and here comes Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu goes in there and beats the crap out of Roman Reigns. Him and Tama double team him and everything else like that, and then Solo spikes him and everything else. I'm like, oh, okay, this is it, right? Like, after a while, this match, by the way, was like 22 minutes, and I was like, oh, this is it. And Solo goes for the cover, and he kicks out of Roman Reigns, kicked out of the pin. I was like, what the fuck, right? Here comes Sammy and Jimmy. They come in and they come there and they start attacking, Jacob and Tama Tonga and everything else, and then by the way, I forgot to mention this, because the refs got Samoan spiked by Solo because Roman kicked out, and he's like, you didn't count fast enough, so he got Samoan spiked by Solo. So then Roman got an opportunity, and he speared Solo, and he goes for the pin, but there's no ref there because the other ref got knocked out. And so by the time the ref did get there, obviously got all the time in the world, Solo kicks out. And so now it's like, Sami Zayn is kind of like hyping up Roman Reigns and stuff like that, like go get him and everything else like that. We'll take care of these other guys, right? So the other guys outside the ring, they go over there and they do the little dive over the rope and everything else, and they're fighting outside going up the ramp, right? And you think, okay, well, now we're alone, right? Solo versus Roman, they're by themselves, right? So Roman is about to go and get Solo, and then here comes Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes in, and he pretty much does a stunner on Roman Reigns and tells Solo to go ahead and pin Roman, right? Like, go ahead and pin him, right? And Solo goes and tries to pin Roman, and Roman kicks out. It's like, so then Kevin Owens is like beating him up some more. He's kicking his ass. He's like beating up on Roman and everything else. And then here you hear Cody Rhodes music, and he comes out and he starts attacking, Kevin Owens and everything else like that. And he does the Cody Cutter and then hits the Cody Cutter on Kevin Owens, and they're going out of the ring up into the crowd and everything else, and they're fighting. And eventually, Roman Reigns spears Solo, and then spears him again, and then goes for the 1, 2, 3. He wins the Ula Fala, and here comes Paul Heyman with the Ula Fala in hand. Now, so all of a sudden, you hear The Rock's music again. He comes back out again, and he's walking to the ring. And then my thought was, oh shit, what's gonna happen here? Like, is he gonna take the Ula Fala? Are they gonna do something to him? And what happened was, he just gave Roman the Ula Fala. He presented the Ula Fala to Roman and gave him a hug, and that was it. I'm like, what? What? I'm sorry, nothing? Like, even Roman Reigns was doing his thing, posing and everything else, and The Rock was standing there, and I'm like, are you going to do anything? Are you going to hurt him? Do a rock bottom, a clothesline, beat his ass? I don't know. Something? And no, nothing at all. There was absolutely nothing. I'm just like, okay, well, that's not a road to WrestleMania. Okay, but earlier he was hugging Cody, and I'm just like, okay, you're hugging Cody earlier, now you're hugging Roman. I'm like, what are we doing? Are we? I'm sorry. Was I supposed to be Flash with the little lighty thing from Men in Black, and they miss, and I'm just like, what? I don't get it. It's what? No. Why even come out? Why even come out? I'm just like, what are you doing? Like I just don't understand. Like it's like I get it. This is like the first Raw on Netflix, and you want to look good, and you're trying to just be baby face. I fine, but it's like it doesn't. Oh my god, like this, I'm exhausted just even thinking about it. I don't get it. I don't. You know, I have no words. I don't get it at all. I just didn't understand it. I'm just like, where is the conniving shit? Like, how? I'm just, oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just like, I was confused. I'm like, well, you know, congratulations to Roman. I don't know what this leads to Solo. Solo hasn't won a match in a while. I don't know what this leads to Solo and his bloodline and everything else like that. I'm confused. I don't get it. I didn't hate it. The match was fantastic, by the way. The match was fucking really good. What a great start to Raw and everything else. But it's kind of like, I don't know. That's what happened. Anyways, let's just move on. So then there's also, might add, because it is the debut of Raw, there was a bunch of like celebrities, WWE superstars from like all different brands, some old legend WWE superstars. There was a bunch of people there and everything else, and they would show them throughout the night and everything else. And one of my favorites, Stephanie McMahon, was there. I'm really happy to see her. I'm always happy to see Stephanie. I love Stephanie. I think she's great. But yeah, there was some stuff there and everything else. There was also backstage stuff, but I think I'm just gonna stick to the wrestling stuff for right now. Always go in the next list and look it up yourself, whatever. But yeah, anyways, so the next match we had was the women's world title match where Liv Morgan defended her title against Rhea Ripley. Let me just say that I think Liv Morgan, her being champion, really elevated her character, really elevated her and stuff like that. And she, you know, she was very good as the champion, but she did lose, because she should lose, but you know, it was time for her to lose that title. I don't think that Rhea Ripley was ever supposed to lose that title before the injury, because there was really no one on that roster that was like had beaten her, right, and stuff like that. This match was okay. It was so-so, right? It was a so-so match. Rhea Ripley, you know, she had riptide Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan kicked out of the riptide, and then, you know, obviously Liv Morgan had Raquel and Dominic there, and Dominic was distracting the ref with the women's title and everything else, and while she's doing that, Raquel throws in a chair, and you know, Liv Morgan hits Rhea with the ability on the chair, and she goes for the pin, and she kicks out. Eventually, you know, Rhea Ripley, you know, Rhea Ripley's caught up in the ropes, and Liv Morgan tries to do another Oblivion, but Rhea Ripley catches her and does the riptide not once but twice for the 1, 2, 3 pin. And then, you know, she's celebrating and everything else. She's happy, you know, congratulations, you got your title back. Hopefully, you know, you get some good opponents and stuff like that. Then Dominic Mysterio comes behind her. By the way, I think Raquel got knocked out by Rhea like earlier, and then Dominic comes behind her like he's about to like attack her or something like that and everything else, and you know, Rhea turns around and looks at Dominic, and he's like he's like standing there like just looking stupid or something, and he holds out his hand like he wants to give her a hug or something like that. And you know, Rhea Ripley, she puts the title down, about this hug of Dominic Mysterio. Instead, he kicks him in the nuts and gives him a riptide, and that was pretty much it. And then she's going up the ramp, and you hear the dong. The Undertaker comes out, you know, with his American Badass Kid Rock song on and everything else like that. And he comes out, and people are screaming and yelling and everything else like that, and they're screaming like that. And he's in the motorcycle, he goes around the ring, goes up the ring, he goes and he high fives I'm gonna say Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. So Rhea Ripley got that, you know, Undertaker rub and everything else from one badass to another, I guess. And that was cool. A lot of people were like, oh, some people were complaining. I'm like, dude, I would never complain when Undertaker's appearance comes out. Like, who cares, right? And that was great. And that was good for Rhea Ripley, right? Because, like, you got the fucking rub, right? Who better? You know what I'm saying? Who better? Like, some people just need to, like, shut up sometimes. But it was an okay match, but that whole aspect. But, you know, congratulations to Rhea Ripley on her win. Moving on. So Travis Scott, I don't know who Travis Scott is. I think he's a rapper, a producer. He is the guy, when you watch Raw, you see the, you know, you have like the video or the music, and that's guy, whatever. He is the guy that does the theme song for the Raw, everything else. So that's who he is, and he's a producer. I don't know. I don't listen to rap these days. It's just not for me. But anyways, he was out there. And then you had Jey Uso out there. This was like the third match of the night. And Jey Uso came out. And, oh, I forgot to mention, okay? I forgot to mention something. Like, let me go back to the first match with Solo. When they said, fuck you, Solo, you could actually, there's no censored of the word of fuck you, Solo. This is a new era, guys. Fuck you, Solo was like as clear as day. As clear as you hear me saying fuck you, Solo. That's how clear it was on Netflix. I was like, wow, okay, cool. Like, even The Rock said like bullshit. I'm like, okay, this is where we at. Cool. So let me go back to Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes out, and he and Travis Scott are going down. You know, they're doing the music and everything else. And Travis Scott is just smoking weed, y'all. This is where we at. In 2025, Raw on Netflix, this motherfucker is smoking like a blunt on national TV. Well, I guess not really national TV, it's on Netflix, but still, like, he is smoking a blunt, like, it is no big fucking deal. I'm like, okay. Alright, this is where we at right now. Alright, cool. I ain't complaining. I'm not complaining. And you know, they're yeeting down the thing and everything else like that. And you had like the announcers were Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, like I had mentioned, like a previous video and stuff like that. That's who they're gonna be. And you know, McAfee, you know, he's yeeting and everything else, and fucking Michael Cole gets on the desk and he starts yeeting. Oh my god, Michael Cole. Like, Michael Cole's like, man, you sit down, dude, before you hurt yourself. Like, all you gotta do is put your hands up and down. That's it. It's very simple, right? And Michael Cole is like, man, I love me some Michael Cole. I think he's great, but I'm like, dude, you just sit down. just do your announcing, Michael Cole. That's fine. And then, you know, Drew McIntyre comes out and everything else. Eventually, this match was okay. It wasn't as good as I would hope it would be. And Jey Uso ends up winning, which is weird, right? Because it's like, if Drew McIntyre is trying to go and get his hands on Roman Reigns eventually, I would assume that he would have won the match. Or if Jey Uso won, it would be like some shenanigans. I mean, Jey Uso won clean and everything else. He got, you know, it's like, he got the best of Drew McIntyre and he won the match. I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Another match, I'm just like, okay, there's no road to WrestleMania there either. And I'm like, okay, well, cool. Let's just move on, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, it was a total match. I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more. But it is what it is. Let's just move on. So let me just say that New Day was there. They're like saying that they're not wrestling because LA don't deserve to see them wrestle, and because they let Kendrick Lamar and you know, Drake pretty much killed Kendrick Lamar, because I guess Drake and Kendrick Lamar had a battle beef or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't listen to today's rap, so I don't know what's going on with that and all this other stuff. You had Chad Gable come to Adam Pearce and basically said, I want to fight the best luchador in the world. And then Adam Pearce was like, "Are you sure about that?" He's like, "Yes, I'm sure." So next week we have Chad Gable facing the best luchador in the world, which I'm guessing is this guy Penta, because they had already had some advertisements and they had like this vignette thing with the mask, and it says Penta on it. It's really quick. It was like 6 seconds. It was really quick. I don't know who like this Penta is. I heard good things about him, so I'm really excited to see what is going to go on next week on Netflix Raw. So then the next thing we had was Hulk Hogan come out, and Hulk Hogan got booed so badly. I actually felt bad for Hulk Hogan a little bit. You know, a lot of people don't like him and stuff like that. They don't like him because they think he's racist, because I think he said the N-word at one time. They don't like him because he is a Trump supporter, which is weird, right? Because Undertaker is also a Trump supporter and no one booed Undertaker. You know what I mean? But and like Undertaker had like Trump on his like podcast and everything else, and talking about he's a Trump supporter and how he didn't like Kamala and everything else. That's what the Undertaker said. So I don't understand why they didn't boo the Undertaker. But I don't know. Maybe it's not because of the whole Trump thing. Because I'm like, if there was a whole Trump thing, they should have booed the Undertaker too, right? Anyways, I don't know. But they booed him and everything else. He came out limping, talking about his beard, talking about Netflix and everything else like that. It was pretty like I don't have a problem with Hulk Hogan and everything else. Like, to me, it's like, whatever. He said the N-word. I don't freaking care. A lot of people say the N-word. Who cares? It's just a word, right? Stop taking everything so fucking seriously, I guess. And, you know, but people don't like him. He is going to be on Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm just like, dude, if you're going to be at Saturday Night's Main Event, just be a heel. Like, if they're going to boo you anyway, you just be Hollywood Hook and say fuck these people, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it is they were in California, so it's very liberal in California, so not surprised. He came out, he did his thing with Jimmy Hart and the flag wave and stuff like that, and he just got booed. Everything he said, he got booed. I just felt like, damn, people, like, okay. Sure. Anyways, like I don't mind Hulk Hogan. It doesn't bother me, whatever. But I'm not like I like Hulk Hogan. Hogan is, you know, he paved the way, right? You know, stuff like that. If this was like a political thing, I don't give a shit, because like I like Batista. Batista is a Kamala fan, and I hate Kamala. Like I'm not a fan. I don't like her. But like, if people voted for her and that was who they wanted to vote for, that's them, right? I don't care, right? Doesn't matter. But that's just me. I come from a different cloth. Anyways, let's go to the main event. So we had the main event versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. Apparently CM Punk wore a jacket that had something to do with AEW. I couldn't tell you what that was. Only reason why I know is because someone was talking about it. So that's the only reason why I know. Other than that, I couldn't tell you much more of that. But yeah, this match was good. It was a really good match. Each of the at one point Seth Rollins hit CM Punk with the GTS. I think he hit it with the GTS like twice. CM Punk hit Rollins with the stomp. Whenever like people were shouting in the crowd, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Punk, Rollins, Punk, Rollins, Punk, Rollins, and everything. You know, they were doing their thing and all this other stuff. Eventually, you had Seth Rollins pedigree Punk on the announce table. It didn't break. I think they got new tables and everything else. They just don't break, because if people have been slamming other people on the table, it didn't break. I'm like, oh, finally, you finally got some new tables. Good for you. Good for you, WWE. And then he did it again in the ring, and then, you know, Punk kicked out, and I'm just like, this is like, you pedigreed him twice. How are you gonna kick out? like you're making Triple H's fucking finisher look weak. Like, stop that. And, you know, CM Punk gave Rollins not once but twice DTS and got the win over Seth Rollins. And, you know, I thought that, well, first of all, I thought maybe Seth Rollins would win, so then we can have this another match going. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna have another match going, but it's kind of like, I was kind of surprised that, you know, Punk won, right? I'm kind of surprised he won. And like they ended the show, but then they had like a live stream on YouTube where they still were looking that, you know, Rollins was slowly going up the ramp and Punk within the ring. And I thought maybe like Rollins would snap and go back and beat the crap out of, you know, Punk and everything else, you know, stuff like that, like, you know, screw you, I'm gonna beat your ass anyway, I don't care if you won, stuff like that, like a sore loser and everything else like that, like turning a little bit more heelish and whatever. But we didn't get that. We didn't get that. There's I don't know, is this over? It seems like it's over, right? To me, I mean, I'm sure it's not over, but it looked like it was over, and I'm just like, okay, so there's no road to WrestleMania there either. And I'm like, I thought this show was the start to the road to WrestleMania, and so far we're in the car and we ain't moving. Like, no one's moving. Like, you gonna hit that gas pedal anytime soon, or are you just gonna just sit there and just behind the wheel? I'm just like, where are we going? Like, we're not going anywhere. There was nothing. This was just like a regular Raw show with a bunch of celebrities and some so-so matches. Like, it wasn't as, like, they hyped it up so much. Like, they played it safe once again. I feel like they played it safe once again. It's like, I thought the whole time after Bad Blood we were playing it safe so we can go ham on a motherfucking biscuit on Raw on January 6th. That's what I thought. But no, Rock is babyface, hugging fucking his enemies, hugging fucking Cody Rhodes, the person that you beat the shit out of. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is corporate Rock. I'm okay, fine, whatever. But it's like, even when he came out for the other thing, when he came out to see Roman, and there was nothing there, and I'm just like, and then we had, Drew and Jay, there was nothing there. And then we had, I'm like, the only thing that satisfied me was the fact that this whole feud between Rhea and Liv was officially over, and everything else, I'm just like, okay, good. And then we have Punk and Rollins, and there was nothing there. It's like, okay, like, where are we going? What, like, can we go somewhere in this car? Like, what are we doing? Like, seriously, I was so excited about this. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the show, but there was no storylines that were started. You know what I'm saying? There was no storyline. There was only one storyline that was finished, but there was no storylines that were started. I thought we were starting here. Are we not starting here? That's what you said. That's what you told me. I didn't make it up. You said, WWE said, Triple H said, the start to Road to WrestleMania is on January 6th. I heard it with 2 ears. Okay? Heard what you said. I don't know. They did have, like, a press conference afterwards. And who had talked, I think, they had press conference with Roman and Paul, Rhea, CM Punk, and John Cena. Oh yeah, I forgot John Cena came out. Oh my god, how did I forget John Cena? Anyways, John Cena came out and he pretty much basically just said, he don't know if he's gonna get 17. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble. He was talking about Money in the Bank. He's talking about lottery tickets, but he's definitely going to be in the Royal Rumble. I don't think he should win the Royal Rumble. Sorry. I don't think he should win Royal Rumble. I don't think he should win the title at WrestleMania. Maybe at a later date. Maybe SummerSlam. Maybe at a later date. But not at WrestleMania. That's just too predictable. I don't want that. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot about fucking John Cena. My bad. Anyway, yeah, John Cena was at the press conference as well and everything else. But overall, this show was like, I'll give it like a 5.5. It was okay what it was, and stuff like that. But I I don't know, maybe my expectation was too high, maybe my hopes were too high. It happens, right? I'm not saying it was a bad show. I'm not saying I wasn't like, oh, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it quite well. You know what I'm saying? It was a great show. It was just like, well, you know, I just wanted some storylines to begin, right? I don't know what this means, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I think next week is going to be a better show. We have the IC Women's title. We have Chad Gable versus the Mystery Luchador. We had hopefully we can finish off this feud between Damian Priest and Finn Balor, because they're in a street fight match next week and all this other stuff. Like I said, be a better week next week. I do like the setup of the whole arena and the ring and everything else like that. The ring, the announce table, like the announce tables have like this glossy cover, and it have like, you know, LED lights with the red lights and everything else, and it just looks pretty good. I like the setup. I like the refs new shirts and all this other stuff. Expecting a little bit more, but at the end of the day, you know, it was one of those shows where it's like, it was kind of, I think this show was probably more for people who don't usually watch Raw, right? Or don't usually watch wrestling. It's maybe that was something to introduce them. As a regular fan, like, you know, me, as a regular fan as myself, I'd expect a little bit more. But if I was a new person, I never like watched Raw or watched wrestling, or haven't watched wrestling in a long time, and I'm trying to get back into it, I think this was a great show. I think on that perspective, I would give it like a 7, because it was a good show to introduce new people, kind of like what they did on Saturday Night's Main Event, you know, to introduce new people and stuff like that. Hopefully we can be done with introducing people, and we can just make the regular fans happy and stuff like that. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.